Welcome to Knife Chats. If you like this video, please take a moment to leave a comment. Thank you. Alright, I'm going to be looking at another zombie green knife. This one's a little bit different than the last one I showed. But one last look at the zombie green skull stiletto and a little bit of philosophy behind it. But first, notice how quick the blade is. It really opens fast and it closes really strong. But with just a little flick, it's open. No real wobble to it or anything else. It's a solid, well-made knife, especially for the $8 to $12 you're going to pay for it. And here's the problem. When I show these two knives to somebody who is not into knives that much, guess which one they're more interested in looking at? You got it. The zombie green skull knife. Every time they will end up coming to this if they're not a knife person. And they'll enjoy it a whole lot more than a Case Stockman. It's just the way it is. They think it looks cool, they think it's fun, and it's assisted opening. You know, they're not interested in the Stockman, even though the Stockman is worth 4 to 5 times more, actually worth a whole lot more than that as far as a knife collector is concerned. But for the non-knife person, a zombie green skull stiletto knife is something they're going to have a lot more fun with and they're going to enjoy more. And that's the thing that we have to remember as knife collectors, that the non-knife collector is going to look at something like this and have a lot more fun with it. And it might actually get them more interested in collecting knives in general. So don't knock the zombie green skull knives when you see them, because somewhere out there some novice knife collector is picking this up, and the next thing you know, they're learning more and more about knives, and then they're buying better knives, and they're keeping this knife hobby going. So this in many ways is the gateway drug for knife collectors, the zombie green skull stiletto. Now let's look at another zombie green knife, because I like zombie green. And today's zombie green knife is brought to you by Kershaw and the Blackwash series. And that knife happens to be the Kershaw Shuffle and lime green. Alright, if you want to call it zombie green you can, but Kershaw has this listed as the 8700 lime BW. The BW stands for Blackwash. I picked it up in the green because I like the green. It comes in several other colors. I know of like a teal and a purple and an orange, and obviously also black. You can see right there it's made in China. I believe the steel used in it is 8CR13 MOV. I will check on that and put it in the notes. It is by Kershaw. The blade length is right at a little over 2 1/4 inches. Cutting edge on that blade is about 2 1/8 inches, and as you can tell, it's a fairly thick blade. We can see here about 1 1/4 inches thick at its widest point. Notice you got the finger choil so you can get your hand right up into there. Double thumb studs so you can open and close it right-handed. I'm a little better doing it left-handed because I'm left-handed, and you can do it either way. Reversible clip here, so you can set it up for left or right-handed tip-up carry only. And if you notice here also, you've got a cap lifter, so if you need to open a beer bottle or something, you've got your cap lifter for that. And then you have an interesting looking lanyard hole here, because that lanyard hole also doubles as a flathead screwdriver or a little pry bar, so that's pretty cool too. And if you notice here, the texture on the handle is a bunch of K's for Kershaw. And as you can tell, everything is adjustable. You can tighten and loosen things up. You can take this whole thing apart, clean it, and put it back together. And you can definitely hose it out because you can see right through there. Nice thick liner lock. You push it out of the way and close it, but it does definitely catch and hold it real well. So you can pound on it and stuff, and it's not going to close very easily. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Kershaw Shuffle. Not something I would be carrying all the time, but it is something to carry once in a while, and I do like it. Comes in a variety of colors, and it's a knife that you're going to get for between $10 and $15. So it's definitely a budget modern folder. True, it's not an assisted opening knife, so you're not going to be able to flick it open as quick as you can that zombie green stiletto, but it does rock open pretty easy, and it's definitely still an eye catcher, especially in zombie green. Now, obviously, if you're somebody who likes purple or teal, you can grab those colors too. There's also orange, so if you drop it in the wood, you're going to be able to find it. But you can also get this in black with a black wash blade, and I think they also make it black with a bright metal blade too. So all sorts of options with the Kershaw Shuffle. It's been in their line forever, so a lot of people have already reviewed it and talked about it. But I just recently picked one up after basically around the same time that I was doing the video on this. I thought, you know what, it's time to go ahead and pick up some zombie green. So the first knife I decided to pick up was the Kershaw Shuffle, and pretty happy with it. I like the Kershaw Shuffle. I think it's a really interesting knife. It's got a very good size to it, fits really well in the hand, and you've got a good 2-inch blade, 2-inch cutting edge on a blade that just feels good in your hands, and it's going to work really well for all those little day-to-day tasks. So the Kershaw Shuffle is one of those under $15 everyday carry knives that is just really going to be a workhorse. I can see how people like it, and I'm glad I picked one up finally. Okay, just to recap, this is the Kershaw Shuffle in the lime green with the black wash finish on the blades. The knife measures open 5 3/4 inches or 147 millimeters. Closed, it is 3.5 inches or 89 millimeters. The blade steel is 8CR. The handle material is glass reinforced nylon. The blade length is 2 1/4 inches or 57 millimeters. The cutting edge on that blade is 2 1/8 inches or 54 millimeters. And finally, the knife features a reversible pocket clip that can also just be left off. And as you can tell from the blade stamps on here, the knife is indeed made in China. And I classify this knife as another one of those budget modern folders that just about anyone could afford, and that would look good in any collection. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Knife Chats, and if you did, please like and share it with your friends. Comments are always welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode of Knife Chats is up online. Thanks again. Hope to see you soon. All right, take 5. That'll have to do. I can't do this anymore.